Never been a member of the Grand Ole Opry, never will be.
Yeah, Hank Jr. is not too concerned about being in the Grand Ole Opry, and that might just be a family tradition. Today we're learning why none of the Hank Williams lineage is in the Grand Ole Opry, and if any of them could possibly become members. If you aren't familiar, and you really should be, but if you aren't, there is Hiram Williams, who is Hank Williams Sr. There's Randall Williams, who is Hank Williams Jr. There's Shelton Williams, aka Hank Williams III, or Hank III, or just 3. And most recently, we've got Coleman Williams, who leads 4 in the Strange Band. This is 88 years plus of country music history and counting, and one that really shakes the foundations of not just Nashville, but the entire world. Hank Sr. is without a doubt the father of modern country and western music. With each generation of Williamses doing it their way, the country and western elements, they never dim, they never fade, they don't weaken. Hank Jr. brings a passion for rhythm and blues and old school rock and roll to the legacy. Hank 3 brings punk and metal into the equation, diving into some very obscure corners of those genres, making a truly artistic statement and catalog, one that shows that family strength through and through. Hank 3, just like his father and his father before him, knew that everything is in service of the song. The songs are not in service of us. It's the other way around. 4 in the Strange Band retain both the rebellion and the country heritage, that family tradition, if you will, with sounds peeled from country, punk, metal, and I think the Facebook of the band says it best when they say country and blending all the genres that go with it. How can the Grand Ole Opry live with itself knowing that none of these Hank Williams men are members? Well, the Opry has a lot of rules, and even as the business, the opera is a business. And even as the business has loosened up its conservative restraints from the 1920s, it's still got a lot of rules in 2025, the 100-year anniversary. There's regulations, rules, and more, some of which help to keep the Opry an honorable place, and some of which are just plain uptight. I understand that getting in should be an honor, and it should be an honorable place, an honorable thing. That you shouldn't be able to vote yourself in or even vote your peers in, because then it's just a popularity contest. But is a secretive board of opera employees somehow above everyone else? And popularity is still a huge factor in someone getting in. I don't know. I don't know if there's a better way to do it, if the system is just and complete the way that it is. I don't know. At least with rock and roll, like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you have to have a debut album that's 25 years old or older, and that's it. That's it. Which means in 2033, I will be eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I was going to ask you guys to vote me in, but you can't, I guess. We've already discussed Hank Jr. and his feelings on the whole thing. And because I am a creative rebel at heart, call me Christopher, that dude Norwood. We're not going in order. Screw that. We're rebels. We did 2 first, Junior. I want to be respectful, Junior. And now we're doing 4 in the Strange Band, who have 2 albums under their belt. They've got one in 2022 and the follow-up in 2023. And Alan Jackson is going to help us figure this one out. Alan Jackson got inducted with just 2 albums under his belt. So technically, in that aspect, 4 in the Strange Band have enough material. As for success in the streaming, the numbers look good. I'm ballparking 3 or 4 million just on Spotify, with around 13,000 fans on there. And our best example, Alan Jackson, has been performing about 8 years before his induction, and Four in the Strange Band have been rocking the world, rocking the stage for about half of that, about 4 years. So maybe we need a little bit more time, maybe at least a third or fourth album, and then a few more years of the band existing and putting out material. But I'm going to go ahead and say by 2029, I think we need to be discussing getting them their golden plaque in there if they want it. If Coleman and his band of strangers, if they want it, they deserve it. Hiram Hank Williams Sr. Hank first auditioned in 1946, but was rejected due to his drinking habits and unreliability. But 3 years later, Hank had taken over the country scene with Lovesick Blues, and the Opry pretty much had no choice but to invite him back with open arms. His performance was so legendary that the crowd at the Grand Ole Opry demanded him back not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times. Holy crap! Imagine if we get a Hank 5. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But 6 encores. 6 encores. That is unreal. I think I go to a lot of rock and roll shows. Everybody does one. Usually you get we're going to leave the stage now. We're going to come back and play the biggest hit of all time. I think I've seen 2 encores. I think I've seen a rock band do 2 encores. For local bands, I've only seen a local band do it once, where it was 1 encore. But 6 encores. And the crowd wanted him back for a 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, 11th, the 12th. The crowd was losing their mind. Like it was Beatlemania, Bobby Sox girls in the Grand Ole Opry. The Opry employees had to ask the crowd to stop demanding an encore so the day could go on, so the show could continue. I'm surprised they allowed 6 encores. That just shows that Hank's performance, I'm going to get teary-eyed. Hank Williams' performance was so powerful and so magical, bone-chilling, that nothing could have pulled him from the circle early. Truly, like, just it's electrifying, like, to be there. Just truly the stuff of legend. So Hank Sr. became a member and stayed a member for about 4 years until August 1952. Jimmy Denny, the opera manager, fired him for not showing up to a performance. It was the last straw. And Jimmy meant this to be a wake-up call for Hank Williams, but that did not work. Hank Williams died shortly after this on January 1st, 1953. It was supposed to be temporary. Like, hey, get yourself together. Like, we're concerned about you. Please get yourself together. And unfortunately, New Year's Day, 1953, and one of the rules that the Grand Ole Opry has is that once you pass away, you're no longer an active member, but move on to their legacy gallery. And despite an overwhelming amount of people wanting Hank Williams reinstated, the Opry will not budge on this issue no matter what. It's not all bad, though, as Hank Sr. is considered a treasured past member whose spirit is, quote, felt at every show. And apparently this year's Opry 100 has kicked off with a tribute to Hank Williams. So it's not like they're just like bashing him or, overtly disrespecting him. That he is a treasured past member. Finally, what we did 2, 4, and 1. Now we are at Hank 3, who really pushed for the reinstatement of his grandfather. He performed in the round in 1996, 2003, and maybe some other occasions. Hank 3, or Shelton, put out 10 albums and then some. Side projects, all kinds of stuff. So much material in the span of 15 years, and was active before that and after that. Many of those albums charted and got a lot of attention from country and rock fans alike. Probably some other weirdos like me as well. When it comes to success, I'd say Hank 3 checks that box too. A very squiggly check mark, both outside and inside of the box, but it is checked. He's got respect for the history of country music. Heck, I'd say he's got a deeper respect for the genre than most other country artists have. So that's another box that is checked. That could mean with 4 and with 3, they're checking the boxes, the positive boxes. Hank 3 connects with his fans. I've heard so many stories over the last several years about how genuinely great Shelton is. He's kind, he's funny, generous. He's just checking all the check marks. What else affects this decision? We've got the willingness to dress the part and respect the Opry.
Grand Ole Opry ain't so grand anymore. Said the Grand Ole Opry ain't so grand anymore.
Well, maybe 2 of them will end up in there.
Floppy transistor sexy, veggie meatballs with knockoff cheap filet sauce, not sexy.